All right, good evening. I'm Landon Haar,
And I'm Nishant.
and based on the State Farm, this is Brandon Smith's financial plan that we came up with.
And we have also established some goals for Brandon. And short term, we expect him to graduate high school with a 3.5 GPA and to attend the University of Texas starting in January of 2018. And for long-term goals, we established that he's going to graduate from University of Texas in about 4 years, and then after that, get a job at NASA or Apple.
So basically, we would sit down with Brandon and come up with several different options for him. And so here are two of the options that we could give him. One would be to move to Texas in July of this summer so that he could then in turn be ready to get in-state tuition. And then he could attend either a community college down there in Texas or simply just get a job. And then he would start attending the University of Texas at Austin in the fall of 2018, or if need be in the spring the spring of 2018. And so then following that, he would get an in-state tuition. And another option that he could do, if he feels compelled to, is to stay in New Orleans with his family and attend a junior college. There are several different ones that his parents work at or could allow him to go to for a discounted price. And that way he could keep his job at Infinity going strong, and then he could transfer to UT at Austin to be there in January or August of 2018. So basically the pros and drawbacks of the move to Texas. So as we would sit down with him, we would go through those two options and possibly also give him the option of military options, whether it be National Guard or other armed forces, to get the U.S. government to pay for his college. But what we decided our smartest plan for Brandon would be to move to Texas this summer. And so some of the pros and cons of that would be, of course, getting the in-state tuition, because the University of Texas at Austin, from an out-of-state point of view, is extremely expensive. And then he would also graduate a semester earlier than expected if he were to either do community college in this fall of 2017, or if he would go ahead and enroll in the University of Texas in this fall semester. Now there are some cons to this option. He would lose that monthly income from a little bit of an aspect. If he makes the move now, he would be away from family, and he would accumulate a little bit of debt by taking that hit. But at the end of the day, he would accumulate even more debt by doing any other option.
So for the cost of college, we have researched that the first year will be approximately $42,576. And because he's moving there and getting in-state discount, from the second to his fourth year, he'll be paying approximately $12,304. So for the 4 years, it will accumulate to about $79,488. And for the expenses during his college, we've changed his iPhone plan because it's really expensive. It's about at $110, and we've changed it to a newer plan, switched to Cricket Wireless, because it's the same thing about at $70. And we're asking him to reduce his entertainment just to save some money a little bit, but he could go over if he wanted to. And that will total up to be about $770 a month. And with this car, it's about 150,000 miles in, so eventually he's gonna have to get one. But his car value right now, according to Kelley Blue Book, is at approximately $3,000. So we have two options for it. He can either sell the car right now and lease a new car at approximately $150 to $200 a month, or he can wait a couple years until the car fully depreciates and he can buy a new one.
So then the other aspect of getting in-state tuition that we would need to talk to Brandon about would be getting an apartment. He would have to have an agreement signed with the college so that he could live off campus. But then if he would own or rent a apartment, then he could then get in-state tuition. And so here's one apartment complex that we found that would be perfect for Brandon. It's the Ella Lofts Apartments. Costs $515 per month, but that is in total, but he would also most likely have a roommate, because they have roommate matching, and it's fully furnished, and they have all sorts of, utilities and, other fun gym and other, amenities to help Brandon along with his college career.
So how we're gonna pay for his college is that, as you know, it's already $79,000, and on the scenario it says that his parents will give $9,000 each year, so it'll make the cost about $43,000, $488. And so the approximate income after he's working during college at Infinity Engineering and Uber is gonna be approximately $1,580, and his total expenses with all the entertainment and stuff with the apartment will be $1,285. So his total earnings each month would be about $295, and we're gonna put that all into a savings account so it can build up. And his savings account, as of now, is $23,500, but his income during this July and June is $7,600, but his expenses, which we have to subtract, would be $940. So his total earnings would be $6,060. And so and we're gonna put all of that into a savings account, so then his savings account would be $30,160. And with the 3.1% interest, if we put it in right now, with annual addition of $3,504, which we get from the $295 he makes during college each month, with 4 years to go and interest rate of 3.1%, it'll be at the end about $50,000.
So if you remember back, minus the $9,000 per year that his parents were going to give him, it was about the cost was about $44,000, and like Nishant just said, he would have a savings account of around $50,000. So by doing that, he would not have to take a loan, but because for loans, you don't have to start paying until the end of your college career. So he could take out that loan and be able to completely pay off that loan with the savings account and the interest that he has built up. So by doing that, he would also, if possible, continue to pay off that loan as he's going through college, which then will build up his credit history. And then the one other thing that we would recommend for Brandon to do would be to get a credit card. And so one of the ones that we found is Discover for the Discover credit card for students, and there's no annual fee, 5% cash back on select categories, and it builds even more credit history. And so the one loan that we would is also from Discover that we would recommend, has a very low APR, and it's has good grades benefits that will help Brandon because of his great GPA, and you can borrow as much as needed, which is a good thing in order to, if that tuition fluctuates, which it can sometimes, especially down in the South. And so, and you have 15 years to pay the loan, which would start when you graduate. So since he already has that amount of savings built up, he wouldn't even have to worry about that. And then his plans after graduation, long-term goals that we would also sit down and start to map out with Brandon, would be applying for that job at NASA or Apple, which are extremely prestigious and also most of the time accompany a large annual salary. And so because of that, he can start saving for retirement, and he can pay the remaining college tuition within the first couple of years if those expenses for any reason were to jump within those 4 years. And it said that he would like to probably go back to graduate school, and so that would be something that we would sit down and try and see if NASA or Apple would pay for that graduate school. Thank you.
We'll be open to taking any questions.
I do have one quick question here, and I think our Vice President has a question as well. Why a savings account versus a mutual fund account?
Right now, the savings account that him and his dad has such a great interest rate that we wouldn't be opposed to looking at a mutual fund, but the savings account and the Wells Fargo account that he has is already such a great and hard to come by account right now that we have in today's economy, that we could shop around, but it really isn't necessary for him to get to pay through college.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. With the perils of credit card usage among college students, how would you help him not get into a bad situation with that credit card?
We're gonna limit his like pay, and I think that the company also does that, and like, he's gonna have to know how much to spend, and we also gave him the chart on how much to spend each month, so he should roughly know, and that will possibly guide him to helping a better future, financial future.
Yeah, by already having that budget set in place for him, he can track on a monthly basis. And I think it also helps that he is getting a few $100s, around $300 a month. Even though that would, be great to go into the savings, he also has a little bit of fluctuation with that.
Thank you, gentlemen, appreciate it.